So, K-Tron Kevin Taylor, some great big sticks you got there. What are those things?
Yeah, all the better to pimp out these drums that I play.
Yeah, were you one of those little psychotic fucking 3-foot tall kids who just beat the shit out of like frying pans and pots and stuff like that when you were a kid?
I think I went through a period where I did that, but I was pretty calm, so it's actually, a lot of people are surprised for such a quiet guy, sort of like how the style of playing that I have, but I don't know, I guess I like to preserve my energy and release it at the appropriate time, so.
They always, people in general, media that know our band, fans, they always think you're the quiet one. We kind of know that's not true.
No, definitely.
But you tend to have a moment where you'll unleash the fury at times.
Well, one of the things I've learned is that most of the time I hold my mouth to get myself in trouble one way or another, so I've learned to only say what's sort of important to be said.
One thing I think a lot of people would probably be curious about, you feel great wearing makeup, playing in a glam rock and roll band, and doing all those things that you liked as a kid when you listened to music, but that's not really you all the time, is it?
Well, I have a pretty good, I like to dress appropriately for the event, so if I'm just walking down the street or out for the day to do something, I'm not going to spend the time teasing my hair and putting makeup on. I like to sort of feel comfortable in my surroundings, so I tone it down.
Do you ever wear makeup when you go to the car races with your dad?
Never. I know better than that.
How did you
play drums with a broken arm?
What did your parents think when you were a kid, like, you know, 16 or 17 or 18, like lots of our fans, and you're wearing makeup and you got like bandanas strapped around your leg and you're listening to Wasp or Kiss or something like that? What'd your parents think?
Well, I had the benefit of actually not living with my parents and only seeing them every once in a while, but they were pretty lenient with it. They had their moments where they felt something was going really wrong, but they just sort of waited for me to outgrow it, which they're kind of still waiting for. But you know, with the success of everything now, they understand that I'm wise enough to know right from wrong.
I don't know about that myself, but a lot of the kids that come to our shows, you know, are individuals in their own right. They do their own thing. Some of them look and dress like us. Some of them are just completely different type of people. What would you say to them as to how to, like, you know, be different but still do well at what you do?
Well, I think a lot of the kids that come to our shows have very distinct personalities, and they sort of don't really care what people think already. And those are the kids that are going to actually do what they want to do and succeed at it because they don't feel the peer pressure to succumb to the sort of normal standards that most people are. I know lots of people that I went to school with who were very cool, and then within months of getting into high school, had their hair cut short and they're wearing the pink polo shirts and everything just to fit in and be with what they call the cool crowd. You know,
where the hell do you think they are now?
Probably still living in their mom's basement.
They ever bump into you in the street and go, that's that guy I went to high school with, he plays in that big rock band?
I've had a couple, but I'm not really going to rub it in their face. I'm sure they're down on themselves enough.
What would you say to some of our fans now that come to every show and K-Tron's their favorite member and they started a website on you or whatever? Does that freak you out? What would you say about that?
It doesn't freak me out. I know, I remember when I was their age, you know, I had people that I worshipped too, and I never got to meet them, so I'm sure this is a real thrill for them, but I think it's good that they actually do get to meet you and realize that there is a person sort of behind that fantasy character that they're used to seeing, and you know, for them, if they are looking to pursue some type of music or anything in art, it just gives them the extra backing to say, wow, you know, like, he's just a normal person, so I can do that too.
Why do you think that this rock band is able to move some people, and why the hell are we the best band in the world?
Well, we're the best band in the world because we're probably the five of each other's best friends, which makes working together tolerable. I couldn't even imagine being in a band with a person that I couldn't call up and say, let's go for a beer or let's go and have some supper. So that makes the working atmosphere so much easier. And I think it just sort of, people see that. They can see through something that isn't real, and they, I don't know if they necessarily know that they appreciate it, but I think they have an understanding of it.
Sometimes little girls come up to you with their titties hanging out and go, "Oh my God, can you sign my titties?" And you know, kind of, it's a weird experience to be in a rock band. What does that feel like? What does that do to you?
First of all, I have no idea what you're talking about a girl with titties in, but you know, wrists, I'll sign wrists. It's great, you know, everybody needs a confidence booster, you know, and if that's what it is, like that's what it is for us, you know, it's great, you know, the more appreciation that gets shown to us makes us want to work that much harder.
How long have we been a band, Kev?
We've been together for 4.5 years.
And when we started out, we played to, you know, small shows that got bigger and bigger, and they're getting bigger and bigger now. When you first step onto the stage at the Molson Amphitheater, or in front of thousands at Edgefest, or in front of 10,000 at Snow Jam, does that feel like you thought it would feel when you were a 15-year-old kid starting to play drums?
It feels really good. I didn't know what to expect. Yeah, there's no better feeling, but there's also a feeling of okay, I've accomplished this now. Now I want the 30,000 seater. Instead of, oh, this is great, I'll settle for this this treatment. It just gives you the ambition to take things that much further and reap the rewards of that.
Does Starboy have an ugly cock, Kev?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I've heard him in action, but I don't think I can recreate that.
You marry 4 guys in a rock band, and the crew, and the manager, and all those people, and you travel across the country. All of us are weird dudes in our own right. Why do we all get along?
Well, I think a lot of it's because we each sort of fill that void that the other person is missing from their personality, instead of 2 personalities that are the same that clash. And but on the other hand, when we're thinking of something, we can all be thinking of the exact same thing at the same time, and I think that's what makes the relationship between all of us so brilliant, and that's why it works so well.
You're about to get on a plane with your buddies and go to Europe and start conquering a brand new couple of countries. How does that feel? What do you think about that?
Well, it's what I've always sort of set out to do. I think if I wasn't in that position to do that, I wouldn't sort of consider what I've pursued successful. So I don't want to say I'm not surprised by it, because I knew it would happen, and it was just a matter of time. But at the same time, I don't want it to sound like I expected it to happen. There was a lot of hard work involved to get to this point.
Are you going to miss touring across Canada and playing to these people that have been with us since the beginning?
I'm going to miss the people. I'm not going to miss the driving.
Tell us a story about almost crashing the van.
Well, it was about -15. We had just driven to a gig 300 miles uphill, and then we were driving back from that gig 300 miles uphill in about a meter of snow and ice, and lost control when this giant moose jumped out in front of the van, which we had to swerve to avoid to make sure that the people in Sudbury could get rocked on the next night, and narrowly escaped death.
But those type of hazards, and like the driving 18 hours and getting to a place and not making a ton of money when you're one of the biggest bands in the country, is that all worth it?
It's worth it. Certainly not doing it for the money, so that part of it right away means nothing. Yeah, there's moments, of course, where you're thinking, what the fuck am I doing out in the middle of nowhere at 3 o'clock in the morning, freezing my nuts off? But once you get there and you play to the people and you realize how how appreciative they are of you coming to their, what they call shithole town, and how you even know that they exist. It's like, it makes it all worth it. I play the tiniest place with 10 people there as long as they had a really good time.
In closing, Kev, just say something to our fans.
Stick to what you want to do. Don't let anybody try to tell you that what you're trying to do isn't right or isn't realistic, because as long as you believe that you can do it, you can do it.
Thanks, Kevin Taylor. K-Tron Kevin Taylor.